you emit. So could be a swear word depending on how I say it and what my intentions are with it. But you're all focused on structure, and that's the trap, that's the insanity. And I'm going to do my best to help you understand enough to make you realize that there is a creation force, that there is something you should be seeking. Most of my knowledge, is not from any book, any lecture, any video, any movie, any mentor. It is direct infusion of knowledge into me. I've had 2 Nobel Prize winning ideas that I know of. The second one last summer, or 2 summers ago, was that there are no neutrons in an atom. Now, I didn't read that anywhere. I knew it. I was able to deduce it, and that information was infused into me from the creative force. And I know why there are no neutrons. I can explain it. See, trying to memorize this theory or that theory is missing the boat altogether. Education is purely to separate you from what you are. That's how it's set up. As a child is growing, you could have the child have a really good understanding of what the universe is by age 4, 5, 6. And so the next phase has to occur, which is that which gets you to see for yourself. The problem is you've been lied to about God, and you don't understand that yet. I mean, you may understand the sentence and the sentence structure, but there's so much more involved with that than most people can know yet. So what I need to get into is the very basics of reality as put into my being from that which creates everything, which is me. And you're like, what? Well, it's also you. And that's going to be very hard to understand. When I say it like that, it sounds like a fortune cookie. It sounds like, some sort of, like I should be floating, on some sort of bobbing mushroom. And, it's, that's the best a human being can grasp that. Well, it's time to show you what you can grasp and how easily you can grasp it. And we'll start with the nature of reality. Telling somebody that reality is an illusion is not going to do much. So I need to make that more clear to you. Since everything is that way, there is no such thing as an illusion, so therefore it cancels itself out. Put it this way, all of the cells in your body are consciously aware. Would you really want them to sit there and be aware of just sitting there in this structural pattern for you, just to metabolize for you and be enslaved by you to make you up, knowing they're consciously aware? Or would you want them to be able to dream up a holographic reality that seems real so they can all interact with each other on a level that doesn't really affect you, and you are happy that they could do it? I mean, which would you want? Do you want yourselves to be your slaves, or do you want them to feel that while they're alive, they get to have a life and express things and do things and interact with each other and seem to have individual identities and all of that? Well, sure. Well, what I'm going to explain to you will make a lot of this pretty clear, okay? First of all, to learn something new, a lot of the reasons that people have trouble with that, especially science, if they are told they're not scientific, is because of just that. They've been told that. They intimidate themselves before they hear something so that they inhibit their ability to understand. So when I start speaking about this stuff, I just want you to not intimidate yourself. Know that I will bring it around and make sure you understand. Hopefully most of you that are listening to this know what an atom is. An atom would be a certain type of energy confined to a what you call a nucleus, a center area, with a complementary energy around it, bathing it, surrounding it, so that when they come together, their effect on anything in its scale of existence is neutral. So you're told in chemistry that you have protons, and you count up the protons, and you have neutrons, and then you have electrons that are orbiting the nucleus. If you get high enough up in chemistry, maybe you get into organic chemistry, which is more, organic chemistry is a really good one to make you understand life. Not if you memorize organic chemistry, only if you understand it from the consciousness of the atom, because the atom is conscious. But they tell you you have different orbitals. They give them different layer names, S, P, D, F. They align the electrons, they chart them as spinning one way, and then they pair themselves to another electron within there that is coupled to it that spins the opposite way, an upspin and a downspin. And that's not what's occurring. So let me explain to you what is occurring. In an atom, you have the energy in the center. It is a certain amount of mass, if you want to call it that. Its existence is a combination of other energies and their interference with each other. Then you have this other type of energy. They give it a positive charge. They assign it, like they're assigning everything here, good and bad, yes, no. They give the nucleus a positive charge and the electron cloud a negative charge. The electron cloud is the type of energy the nucleus of the atom, the proton, always wants to find itself inside of. Because the protons are what you would call a positive or outward energy, or symbolically male energy, and it seeks to be inside the female energy, which will surround and absorb. Just like with sexual intercourse, you have a male, and your male organ goes inside the female organ. That's why they've based electrical circuitry. They call it male and female coupling and male and female parts. Well, see, the electron cloud, that energy, is a more dynamic, complex, dimensional type of energy. And it is not particles that are flying around the nucleus. It is a fluid consciousness energy. And they say, well, then what's an electron? Electrons beaming off. Well, all that means is a certain amount of energy is allocated out, and it assumes the most efficient use of space, which is a sphere. But when it comes back into an electron cloud, it delocalizes itself and becomes part of, like a droplet falling into the ocean. So when they talk about certain types of energies that couple, we have this upspin and downspin, and different orbitals. Orbitals in an atom would be very similar to chakras on you, how they interface. And I'll get to that later. But you don't have these particles spinning around. They're only that when they need to be. For example, anybody that knows how to manipulate their own chi and focus their chi, maybe you've seen martial artists do this. They're localizing a lot of that energy to one point, which would be similar to the materialization of an electron. It's not even, material, just conglomeration of that energy. It is not particles that are spinning. If it's a fluid consciousness and you know there are different types of that energy within there, then what you're dealing with really is phase. And before I go on, I really want you to understand,